Show you how to make these really simple, beautiful kind of movable leaves. So there's a really lovely movement to these. It depends how long you want to make them. Like you can see on there, you can do quite short ones and they still look lovely, but the more loops that you put in, the longer and more movement you're going to get from them. So it's entirely up to you how you make them. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It's really easy and it's quite relaxing as well. So the first thing we need to do is you need to get your prepped green papers that you've got. So I'm just going to move them to one side. So I'm going to use these so that you can see the difference in what I'm doing as I'm going along, but yours are going to be the green acrylic pulls that you've prepped. So yours will be green on the back and on the front, whereas mine, just for this example, I'm just going to use red and white, a little bit like Saints. So the first thing you need to do is you need to put your pages in front of your long ways, and then you're going to fold, do one at a time. I'm going to fold across, match the corners up and get it so it's exactly in half, and just pull across with your hand and get that as neat as you can, as much as possible, so it's completely in half like that. And I would do, because I like to cheat, I would try and do 3 or 4 of these at the same time. So all the green ones that you've got ready that are the same size. So if you've got 3 or 4 A4s, I'm going to match up the corners, put them in half, a nice neat edge. Got some white ones here, I think they're okay. Got them as well, because what we need to do is cut them in strips. So rather than doing them one at a time, when they're all folded in half, I'm going to put one inside the other, like that. That should match. And then I'll do a red, just so that you can see the difference between each one. I'll do alternate colours like that, so that you can see they're all now sat inside each other. So I'm going to be ready now to cut these into strips, but instead of cutting one strip at a time, every time I use that guillotine, I'm going to get 4 pieces come out. So your guillotine will probably look different, but you're going to have different measurements across it, just like mine do. And all we really need to do is cut these into roughly the same size width strips. If they're not completely identical, don't panic. As long as they're roughly the same size all the way across as each individual strip, then that's going to be brilliant. So I'm just going to get mine ready. I'm going to line it up and I'm going to mark it at the top. So what I'm going to say is, if you've got A4 like me, then something like 2 centimetre strips is perfect. If you've got A3, so your page will be twice the size, I'd say at least 3 centimetres, maybe 4, and that would be perfect. So I'm going to line up my first one at the 2 centimetre point. And actually I should use good practice. I'm going to put it across a line so I know that it's straight. So you can see this line here. I'm going to make sure that my page is sat on it. There we go. So first cut, so that's my first set of strips. So instead of 1 piece of paper, now I've got 4, all ready to go. And so again, I'm just going to run that across till it's 2 centimetres again. There we go. And then so I've got 8, and then another set. I'm going to keep going until, ideally what you want is between, say, 20 and 25 strips. So I'm just going to keep going with these until I know I've got enough. There we go. That'll be 16. That'll be 20. That'll be 24. Do another set just in case. I've definitely got enough. There we go. I would go all the way across. When it's yours, go all the way across, use all of your page, you may as well, and you've got all of them ready there. So now you've got all of these, they're all cut. They're all ready for you to now start making what is a really simple but really beautiful shape. So the first thing we do is slightly different to the rest of this process, but we only do it once at the very beginning. The rest of it is the same thing repeated over and over again, which is why it's quite relaxing. So I'm just going to open up all of these strips so I know that they're ready to go. And again, on mine, you can see they're not all the same width. They're just roughly the same width, and that's perfect. So there we go, there we go. So this is our process. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get the first strip, and just on this one where that crease is, which is why it's so helpful, we're going to carefully just pull so that we split it into two pieces. Now that I'm just going to put to one side, and that will be the middle of the next set that I make. But for now, this is the first one that I need to pay attention to. So all I'm going to do, the only materials we need is a glue stick and our hands. This is why this one's so great. So glue stick, I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the bottom. So I'm just going to give it a little wiggle. And then I'm going to match the top edge to the bottom as neatly as possible, like that, so that I make one loop. And that's going to be the central loop that starts everything off. So it's that central loop there and that central loop there. That's what I've just made. And I don't repeat that again. That's just once that I split it in half and I make one loop. Now, what I do from now on, we repeat and repeat and repeat. So you're going to get your first strip so that the crease bends towards you, and you're going to get your loop. Now what we never do, and this is the only rule really, we never ever stick that edge into the middle of that crease. We never do that. We always make sure it's a little way away, probably about a fingertip away. So if you need to, you can always put your finger there against the crease. Make sure that you don't have this anywhere near closer than that fingertip, and then that's right. That's all we've got to remember. So glue stick. So a fingertip away. I'm going to add a little bit more glue. It's not a lot of glue. It's just a little kind of swivel, and you'll get plenty of glue on there. And then with this first edge, and again, I'll hold that so you can see where the crease is. So we're not going to go near the crease. I'm going to come away. I'm going to stick it about there, so you can see the distance, about a fingertip. I'm going to stick it on so it's nice and straight against it, so you can see really straight on there. Then glue again. So we're going to put a bit more glue just on the new section that we've stuck down, and a bit at the bottom. So a bit on the new section, bit on the new bit where the crease is, and I'm going to fold that across now, stick it over the top to kind of capture all of it in and make what I think looks like someone screaming. Ah! So that is the first bit that we've made. And now all we're going to do, again with your glue, we're going to come nowhere near the crease, because we always come away from the crease. Put a little bit of glue on, like that, away from the crease, bit of glue, fold again, and just match up in a nice straight line. So we're always trying to keep this slip of paper, always trying to keep it neatly folded into itself. Press down, done. We know it's right if this new loop is a little bit shorter than that one, so it's a bit shorter as it comes down. That one's done. Turn over, repeat. So glue, not at the edge of the crease, but just out a little bit. Again, a bit of glue. Curl this one over, fold it, and you can kind of see where the other one is. Match it roughly, but keep that slip of paper neat and in line. And that is the first one done. So that's the first section, just like these, completely done already. And all we do from now on is repeat exactly that last step. So get the next one and make sure that the crease comes towards us. Get the glue. We don't put the glue where the crease is, we come away a little bit. Put the glue in there. We place the line on top of the glue. So look, about a fingertip away from that crease. Done, done, done. And the glue, a little bit on what we made before and a little bit on that new section. So we can fold. And again, keep it neat. Trap it all in there, like that. Glue, not on the edge, just a little bit away. We fold that down. Again, about a fingertip away. Keep it neat. Done. This new loop is a little bit shorter, look. So we know it's right. Turn over. Same on this side, so not near the crease, a little bit away. Bit more glue. And then fold. Match. Always about a fingertip away. And there, again, is our next section down. So you can see what you're doing now. Exactly the same. Get your crease. Make sure it's facing towards you. Fingertip away from where the crease is, a little bit of glue, then match it up onto there. Good thing with the glue is you can move it really gently, you can swivel it around a bit, make sure it's neat and in line with each other, and then a bit of glue on the old loops, bit of glue on that new strip. Fold it over, trap it all inside, really neat, like that. Glue again. Always, always, never near the edge. Bit of glue. New loop. Turn over. Not near the edge. Bit of glue. Make your loop. There's another one done. Look how quickly we've got to that point. Now, the longer they are, the better, because the more movement you get. So the longer it is, you can imagine, you can move them really well. So if we're making our little urban jungle out of all of these really beautiful images that you've photographed or you've drawn, and we get a little bit of kind of movement in there, that's going to make it look really great. So that is what we're working towards. So keep going. Next one, exactly the same. Get it so the crease is towards you. Never ever put the glue, well, never ever put the loops in the crease. It's always just a little bit away. Glue in. Keep going, keep going, keep going until it's as long as you want it to be. You can stop when you want, so you can have short ones if you want, but I would try and make some quite long ones, and then we can get a lot of kind of variation in all the different things that we've got in there, and they will look absolutely brilliant.